Hello and welcome back to Jokev Chicks Kenya TV, where we give you all the farming tips regarding poultry farming. My name is Monique Kyoko, and on today's episode we have two very exciting guests here with us in studio. But before I introduce them, you know what we do. Please subscribe to our channel down below. Share this video with any farmer or anyone you know would be interested with matters poultry farming. Have you subscribed? All right, so as I introduce my guests, we have none other than our CEO, Joe Kioko, and a renowned person in Kenya, an entrepreneur when it comes to poultry farming, and that is Mama Ida Odinga. Karibuni sana, our guests.
Asante.
Yes, but before we start, let me ask you, have you subscribed to Jokev Chicks Kenya TV?
I'm going to do immediately after this.
Please do subscribe. Yes. And Joe Kioko, thank you so much for being here with us yet again in studio. Yes, with our honorable person, Madam Ida. Yeah, so Mama Ida, many people know you as an entrepreneur, but not many know you as a poultry farmer. So maybe you can tell us about that.
Yeah, like many other people, we do also many things. Poultry farming is just a portion of what I do. And I keep chicken in my farm in Upoda in Bondo. I also keep other poultries. I keep geese. I keep ostrich. I keep peacocks.
Wow.
I have Egyptian ducks. I have guinea fowls, and many other types of birds.
Oh, wow, that is very interesting. Before we engage our CEO in this conversation, maybe you could tell us what inspired you to start poultry farming?
Well, poultry farming is a part of me. I grew up in a farm where, of course, we are keeping the traditional way of keeping chicken. But then later on in my mature life, I decided to keep poultry. It is very nice, it is very soothing to see birds grow from eggs, chicks, until they become. So to me, it was just like, I first of all said it's a part-time, just to keep it, but I found it really interesting. Okay. As they grow, I enjoy collecting eggs, and the layers and so forth. So it is interesting job. All
right.
Yeah.
So to Bwana CEO, you've heard what Mama Ida is doing in regards to poultry farming. So what can Jokev Chicks Kenya offer her in regards to that?
Yeah, as a company, our aim is to help farmers who are doing this business. That's why we are doing poultry, because poultry has the whole of birds. So we help them to rear them, because there are a lot of challenges when you come to poultry farming. So our aim is to see a farmer thrive in this business. So when we supply you with the chicks, and we see you selling your birds, we are very happy because we know you have achieved what you wanted from your business. So basically what we do is to help you get the chicks, help you grow them in a way which is supposed to be done. And sometimes, not always, we help our farmers to get market, because we have some hotels which they buy the chicken from us. So when we bring in those chicken, we will also help you to get the market. And our big aim is to help to make sure the yield of your farm is 100%. You don't want those mortalities and all that. And also the main challenge is diseases and feeding. So we have come up with a way of dealing with those challenges.
There's something I'd like to add. You see, where I come from, where we are, there are so many people who would like to find something to occupy them or do some kind of economic activity. Not everybody got a farm where they can grow crops and so forth. But I find chicken keeping is very motivating, because one thing, you don't need a big farm, you don't need several acres. And my neighbors, where I come from, they may not have large farms where they can grow crops. But if you have even an acre or a quarter an acre, you can keep plenty of these birds. And they occupy you because it's a full-time job. From the time you wake up, you clean the place, you feed them, you do other things until you go in the evening. So it doesn't matter whether it is dry season or wet season.
Yeah.
The birds are growing. And when it comes to harvesting, you can organize yourself in a manner or in a way that you can harvest throughout the year. And then you start again. Some you can grow them in stages. Maybe after 3 months you bring these ones and so forth. So it becomes a full-time occupation. And this occupation is very good, particularly with the women, because it is done at home. You can have the chicken, keeping them within the homestead. You don't have to walk kilometers away to go and look for a farm and so forth. And I found them, they can do their house chores as well as looking after their birds.
Okay, that is very informative, and I like that you're encouraging people to pursue poultry farming. You don't have to look for a big piece of land in order to do it. You can do it at whatever time. So maybe you can take us through a typical day in your life as a farmer. From morning to evening, how does your day look like?
Now, personally, I keep these birds. I'm a chicken farmer. But I don't sit there myself personally doing it.
Okay.
Now, I employ people who do it on my behalf, but they work under my instructions.
All right.
Now, it is giving occupation, job to young people and also to women who would otherwise not be employed. And the day begins very early in the morning. In the morning they wake up, they clean the place in shifts where the birds are. Then they feed them, they water them, they take care of them. When it is time for them to vaccinate them, they vaccinate them. Yeah, so it is occupation.
All right.
It is an all-day job.
Okay.
Until evening. Make sure that they are safe where they are. Because apart from the worst enemy that they may have is diseases. If we keep the place clean. So cleaning is a must, and it is a continuous job. You must clean where the birds are.
Right.
And we have some wild cats that do invade the chicken pens. In fact, of late I realized even the monkeys do sneak in to steal eggs.
Yeah.
So we must be sure that we are kept safe and away from those wild cats and from the monkeys.
When I see you, you've had some of the things that she does in her farm or rather supervises. As a fellow farmer, what do you have to add from that?
In our previous video, we did the poultry housing and sanitation. And those are the kind of challenges that I was talking about. If you don't have good security in your farm, you will lose a lot. You see, like monkeys are going away with the eggs. They will even, when they are hungry, they can even take the whole bag and go away with it. So, in our trainings, we do about security. And when we come to, there's another security we call biosecurity. When you are coming in the farm, there's a place you are supposed to pass to leave your diseases there, and you go to the farm when you make sure that the birds are safe. The other thing I can add on because I've not been in our farm. We will one day go there, because when you are there is when you can at least help.
Okay.
When you see, you will be able to advise further.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
When you come to our farm, you'll have to sanitize.
Yeah.
You'll have make sure that we are not carrying bacteria. Maybe you are from another farm. We will not allow you to come to our farm just like that.
Yeah.
And one thing that I try to discourage people bringing in chicken, live chicken, because some of these live chicken may not have been vaccinated, they may not be healthy, so we discourage that kind of thing. And where they keep chicken, not everybody is allowed to go there. All other farm workers, if you are working in the dairy section, you have no business going to that poultry section. If you are in the crop farming section, you have no business going there. So that we restrict the number of people who go to that place.
Yeah.
Only the people who are been chosen, people who are designated to work in that particular place.
Okay, so I'd like to hear from both of you, since you're both poultry farmers. What's the most fulfilling thing about poultry farming? We can start with you, Mama Ida.
With me, the thing I love most is just to watch them grow.
Yeah.
Now, you see them this week. Next week, they're grown. And the most fulfilling thing is when it comes to collecting eggs and packing those eggs. I can sit the whole day, the whole afternoon, just packing eggs. It is very fulfilling.
All right. What about you?
On my side, it is because it's paid. It's where I get my honey from. And another thing is when I see a farmer, because we normally go to rural areas and you find that the poverty index of that area is very low. So when we see those farmers driving from an hut, that is the house, you start seeing in that home having a higher sheet. You start seeing children going to school, higher education from the chicken honey. It makes me very happy. So it is I take it as a job.
All right. Let's talk about markets. So we've had a lot of farmers. Here at Jokev, we train farmers, they watch our videos and they learn a few things matters poultry farming. So the other problem they have, the main problem rather they have is finding a market for their produce. So what would you say about that?
Even before we go to the problem of marketing, the biggest problem that poultry farmers in our area have is the feeds. Because the feeds that we have are very expensive. Unless the farmer knows how he can produce his or her own feeds to feed the birds, then you'll find that you work so hard and in the end you get very little.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of competition in the market. Besides that, from the western side of Kenya where we come from, there's a lot of chicken, birds and eggs that are being brought in from our neighboring country, to be specific, from Uganda, which are going at a lower price. That if we want to improve on our markets, really, maybe I would ask the government to impose tax for income for bringing chicken from the other side, because I don't know how they feed them, but their feeds in Uganda are much cheaper compared to the feeds in Kenya.
Yeah.
But if you have to lower the price, if we in Kenya have to lower the price, then it will mean that we are selling below production cost. So market becomes a problem. You can keep the birds for a long time, but you end up selling them at a lower cost. So that one is not beneficial to the farmers.
Well, Theo, maybe you can talk about that. Since, like she's saying, commercial feeds are very expensive and farmers are struggling to get that, which in turn affects the market price. So maybe you can tell us about production of your own feeds.
She's very right, huh? And she must have done this for maybe research. That is the main challenge, the feeds. And when I go to Kampala, you'll find that the feeds there are very cheap. And it is not, I think it's because of our area. Like I told you that in eastern parts of Kenya, that is Kitima, Gwen, and Machakos, the rains are very minimal there. And the birds are doing very well because they don't need rain there. So what we did to overcome this challenge, there is a way we researched and we found that maize cob, it's a waste. Now we are using it to feed our birds. And for those who have been checking on our YouTube channel, there is that video that we posted and uploaded. So we grind it and we incorporate it with other feeds. You make a cheaper way of feeding birds. And we have the formula. So we are trying as much as she says the government to intervene to help us. We are also trying to see how we can get the cheaper way of feeding our birds.
All right. Speaking of which, something you guys don't know is that Mama Ida actually bought from us the grinding machine, and she's also ready to, make the most out of the economy in terms of grinding. And on our next video, we'll be showing her, because at Jokev, we train our farmers on how to, do farming and even use the machine in case they don't know. So in our next video, we'll also be showing her how to use the machine. Hope you're excited for that.
I'm excited about that because it is going. My farm is also a demonstration farm.
Yeah.
To demonstrate to other farmers around us. So if they see how they can produce feed cheaply to feed their birds, I'm sure many of them will go for this kind of thing. Now, chicken feeding should not only be left to women, but there are so many young people who are claiming that they're jobless. They can feed them. They can keep the chicken and be able to sell and make a living out of it.
Yeah. Is there any advice you could give us in regards to finding market for our produce once we've done everything we need to do?
I think the best thing is, let's take this machine to the village and call a demonstration so that you can demonstrate how it is used. You'll find many people would like to have it.
Okay.
And it will make their work easier. Keeping the chicken because they food. Those are the things that we throw away, like the maize cobs you're talking about. After harvesting maize, of course the maize cobs are useless. We throw them away, some throw them back in the farm. But now we see that with this machine, you can use it to produce feeds for the chicken.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. So maybe you could give us your final remarks in regards to poultry farming. What would you tell people?
I'm very excited to see these young people. I mean, he's a young guy. You're also a young person. Coming up with this kind of machine because you have innovated something that will go ahead to help many farmers and many young people to get jobs. That machine can also be used to prepare feeds even for dairy cattle. So it can use it in many ways. Thank you very much for being innovative and coming up with this machine. It is not expensive, but what it is going to produce is more valuable than even the cost of that machine.
All right.
Right.
You heard it, guys. Even Mama Ida endorses that you get yourself a milling machine. But before we finish, there's something we brought for you, Mama. And I'll let our CEO hand it over to you and tell you what it is. So maybe we can have it here.
This is called POULTRY microbes.
Microbes.
Yeah. The work of this is to make sure that the feed that your birds do give, because we have the feeding program. Like a mature bird is supposed to take 140 grams. The work of this is to make sure that what has taken is fully digested.
Digested?
Yeah. So I've heard you talk about sweeping and sweeping. When you use this one, you just sweep once per day because there is no droppings. The droppings comes out of lack of good digestion of the feeds. This is also another thing that we invented in our company. It also eliminates ammonia in the poultry farm. If you use this one, you will not feel that smell. You will only hear the voice and there are chicks or chicken in it. Because the smell comes from the ammonia. When the feeds are not fully digested, it will decompose and those bacteria will start smelling. And the growth rate of your bird will be very fast. Our birds are taking 3 months to sell 1.2 kg, 1.5 kgs up to 2 kgs. And if you are taking a bird to a show, you will you give it like 5 months, you will have a very big production of the eggs. It will not skip because of this. So that is you just use very easy. I will when I come to your farm, I will demonstrate close and show you how to use it. So this is your gift. You take it to your farm.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, here at Joe Care of Chicks, we say you can't be a poultry farmer and miss that in your farm because it does wonders. All the instructions on using, on precautions are on the sticker, so that will be very easy for you to use.
Now, the fellow who is running the farm with Jimmy is a graduate from Nairobi University. Specialized on animal husbandry.
Okay.
I'm sure he's making use.
All right. All right, everything you needed to know about poultry farming. We had 2 guests in studio. I hope you enjoyed the interview. Please watch out for our next video where we'll be training Mama Ida on how to use the milling machine. That's it. Until next time, goodbye.